Hey folks, this is Myron from the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. I am joined today by Alan Angels. He's got a show he wants to tell us about.
What's up, y'all? Alan Angels here, and if you don't know already, you should know. Janie Strong Benefit Show, October 1st, going to be at the Landmark Arena. It's for a beautiful young lady named Janie Mitchell. It's a benefit show just to benefit her, to get through her treatments for pediatric cancer, and you should definitely come. Main events, A.R. Fox, Darby Allin. We also have a fatal four-way between AC Mack, Anthony Henry, Chip Day, and Fred Yehai. If you're not coming, please make sure you get there.
You heard it there, folks. It's going to be an incredible show, and it's a great card going for a great cause. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the we changed that name. We are now the Wrestling News Weekly. Has a little bit of a ring to it. Yeah, it has a little bit of ring to it, don't you think?
Dun, dun. And you can imagine the WCW music playing in the background and the WNW logo popping. That's what it is here at the studio. We've got the whole animation and the graphics going. Can't wait to show them to you.
Well, we're trying to do more news stuff. And, of course, if you're wondering, I am Nick, and I'm joined by my buddy Myron, as always.
It's me again, Myron. How you doing today?
Well, man, it's we're going to be, that we kind of talked about it. It's a little more of a news-style show, more than, just one thing. We're shooting about everything wrestling, and I don't mean that.
If it happens inside ropes, you can't say squared circle anymore because there's a six-sided squared circle, and it's not a circle, it's squared, or it's a lot of shapes.
Yeah, so we just got to talk stuff about pro wrestling in general. Yes. And let's, a couple things I wanted to get out. There's one I really wanted to lead off with because we're literally going to be, from the time this episode airs, we'll be 1 hour away from Rocky Mountain Pro Milestone 7.
Milestone 7.
Yeah, airing on the Fight app, which is just, I'm so excited it's finally here. I want to see it. I mean, I experienced it live. Now I actually want to see the show.
I want to see it because I haven't let you tell me anything about it since it happened. So I want to see it.
Well, we've been hyping it.
Those guys put on a super promotion.
Yeah, we've been hyping it on Twitter and Facebook today. So definitely check it out. If you don't have the Fight app, the link is right there on all the tweets and stuff we've been putting out today. Download it. It's a free app. I mean, and then on top of that, I thought this thing was going to be a pay-per-view, and it turns out it's free.
Oh yeah, you've got the best, highest produced, best written independent promotion in the country, in my opinion, for free for their pay-per-view. It's their WrestleMania, and you can get it for no charge. It's the best bargain in internet wrestling tonight.
Absolutely, and I won't spoil it. There's a couple matches in there that'll just blow your mind, but top to bottom, the card was solid. I was super impressed by the show, especially in person. So even if you're listening to this later, obviously, it's on demand. Rocky Mountain Pro is on the Fight app, so make sure you check them out. We're obviously an affiliate of the Fight app, but hey, click on that link. Make sure it's our link. Kind of lets them know we're doing our job and promoting it like we should. And of course, Rocky Mountain Pro, friends of the show out there in Golden, Colorado, we definitely want to tell you to check it out. There's a cage match. There's an Anything Goes women's championship match, Lockett's title, to be honest. That's what they call it out there.
Oh, yeah.
Two tag team partners, the tag team champions, are facing off each other for the rights to hold on to the titles because they are no longer a team. They've split up and decided they couldn't be a team, and who is going to go home with the belt. So you can check that out. And then lots of other things. I mean, the heavyweight championship, Mario Vanger takes on Steven Ashburn. It's a great match. I mean, like I said, overall, and we've got something special coming down the road, for this card. We should be getting it done here in the next week or so. So absolutely want to check that out. So Milestone 7, Rocky Mountain Pro, definitely check it out. But before we get too much further, there's also another show that I want to promote. November the 11th, out in Mississippi, Pro Wrestling Ego.
Yes.
They are running it's a tournament called the Great Southern 8. It's actually got a little bit of history here, so it's not like a new thing.
Tell me about the history.
Well, I mean, it's just, it's a tournament where you would be shocked if you Google Great Southern 8 and go back and look at some of the names that are in this tournament, you'll be shocked. So when we get done here, definitely go in there and check them out, Google them up, and check out the Great Southern 8. But, we got hooked up with it with our buddy O'Shea Edwards this year is representing Georgia, because that's what they basically do is they take a wrestler from every state And that way
Well,
they have a representative from Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee.
He's an amazing representative for the state of Georgia. I will tell you that.
Absolutely. And so we've got and again, keep your eye on it. Pro Wrestling Ego. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, all the above. And check it out November the 11th, the Great Southern 8. Definitely a tournament that we're going to be interested in, so much so that I have a feeling you're probably going to hear a little bit of talk, a little bit of chatter on the Great Southern 8 on the Tap Out Wrestling Podcast.
I'm looking forward to getting into some new promotions and hot promotions that are doing something as cool as this tournament. I think it's going to be awesome.
I agree, and Jay Andrews and we've had some talks over there with those guys, so hopefully you're going to hear some of those guys on the network promoting that show and getting that's a way to get you to know those guys a little bit better. So that's kind of our hopes for that. So.
Yep.
But man, let's talk about some of the other stuff in the wrestling world. Let's jump straight into, of course, Impact. It is what it is week to week. I'm going to give the good news. There's some really good news this week, to be honest with you. Viewership was up. I guess I should say last week. By the time you're listening to it, it'll air. It airs tomorrow. But last week's episode was at 277,000. Up from 239,000, so that's a pretty substantial jump.
They're climbing every week, man. They're putting out a good product.
And then not to be the negative Nelly to bounce back, but we mentioned it last week. They were considering or doing, but it's confirmed now. They are completely rebranding back to Impact Wrestling, with all of the Jeff Jarrett, situation going on and the Global Force not owning the name, etc. They will be Impact.
When I came to Athens to go to pharmacy school, there was a T-shirt around at the time, that Athens was a drinking town with a football problem. And honestly, I think Impact is a wrestling promotion with a promotion problem. I don't think the wrestling is the problem. They've been able to put out continually good quality wrestling, the best they can do with what they've got. But the production people, the promotion people are where the weak link is on this whole thing.
It's always been upper management that's kind of gotten in the way. And, that's kind of what some of the word is the, over at the Observer, they made the comment that, they were the ones who we got it from, that they were rebranding. And part of the image that they're worried about is that they're always going to be TNA until they leave Orlando.
Well, they're the associate of the park. Their Universal Studios is where you go to get out of the sunlight while you're down there. So it's not really. You're right. I agree with you. They really need to get out of there. So, I think it'd be best decision for everyone concerned.
Rumors are that they may be packing up and moving north of the border.
I know. They'll be real happy about that.
The Canadian home is, Anthem home is in Canada. So why not take the whole ship and just kind of take it up north? And I bet our buddy Lewis will be happy because he's probably going to catch a lot more shows.
Yes. Our Canadian division will be super happy because Lewis will be right up there on top of their promotion. He's on top of it right now. But imagine if he was on top of it and going to all the shows too. That would be epic. Yeah,
I'm sure he would be just absolutely thrilled if they move up there and he can get some shows that he can actually go to, and because I know he was hoping to see things like Ring of Honor and things like that, but Global Force I still can't drop it. How crazy is that? Impact.
It's only been the name like a week.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
we're like 2 names behind.
2 days. I mean, if you're a week behind in wrestling, you're way behind.
It's the fastest change in sport there is, man.
Right, exactly. And so hopefully that I'm one of probably in the minority that I actually want them to. I want them to pack up and go ahead and move and just go north of the border. And I
want us to succeed, whatever it takes. Look at it like people are talking about Lucha Underground in season 4. I may never watch an episode of Lucha Underground, but I want them to continue to run because it's another promotion, and more promotions, the better business is. Right. More guys get a job.
Absolutely agree with you. So that's kind of really the only Impact news. I'm looking over my notes just to make sure, but that's really all of the Impact news that I have. But the other news that we've got is, for one, let's jump straight over into Ring of Honor Cody Rhodes signs his multi-year deal.
Yes. Congratulations,
Exclusive.
Cody Rhodes, for settling down in a home. I think they're the only famous wrestling couple that isn't pregnant right now. So,
More on that later. Yes, exactly.
yeah, it's great. I think Cody is amazing, solid talent. He's got a wife who's in the business and very supportive. They're the power couple. I think they probably hold more sway than any other power couple in wrestling right now, except for John and Nikki.
And
So congratulations.
Cody was just on Chris Jericho's podcast, and it was a good episode. He kind of knows he needed that break from WWE, and just to hear, Brandy did her own thing, like her doing the match on Women of Honor and all that. That was all her doing. He said he didn't he kind of knew about it, but not really. She kind of went behind it and just did it, kind of thing. But I think Ring of Honor probably realized they have a star. And it's a star they can build on for years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think they made a good move. Because in the past, they've lost some guys with deals, and to go ahead and sign him up and nail him down for a long-term thing was probably one of the smartest moves they've done in a long time.
Well, contracts are the weakness in the independent wrestling business, and the guys like TNA that they offer people contracts that aren't great, and they lost. TNA didn't lose Cody as much as they lost his wife first. And if you're not going to do business with a man's wife, you're not going to do business with him. So I think the best thing could have been is a natural fit at Ring of Honor. It's their style of promotion, and it's Cody's style of action. He's a great talent, and I think the best place he possibly can be. So.
For now, I'm right there with you. Ring of Honor, New Japan. It's probably the best fit for him. And speaking of Ring of Honor, New Japan, Kenny Omega is coming to the United States. He will be here for the Ring of Honor Global Wars shows. There's 4 of them: Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Chicago. But he will defend.
No word on Jim Cornette having tickets yet.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't hold my breath. Kenny's going to actually, even believe it or not, defend the IWGP U.S. title. Go figure. He's actually going to come back to the United States and defend the title in the United States against Yoshihashi. Easy for me to say, right?
I got no idea who Yoshi Shimoshi is, but
well, that's because you don't watch
anytime
New Japan.
Anytime you can get that stuff on American shores, I'm up for it. I think it's a great idea.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a no-brainer, especially considering he holds a U.S. title.
Yep.
Getting him here to defend it would probably be a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Amen. That's the Ring of Honor stuff that I've got. But also it's not Ring of Honor. But Mike and Maria Kanellis are saying they're having a baby. We're addressing that you spoke of earlier.
Yes.
We wish them the best. Yes. She's, it's not too far along, but far
They've
enough.
got a lot of good stuff going on in their life right now. Mike has gotten off the prescription drugs. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got a stable job, and he's going to have a first child, or maybe his first child with her. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And, she made a statement that they would be back after, or that she would be back after. I'm assuming he'll be back before, but she will be back after the baby. So it's not like she's done with wrestling kind of thing. So we wish them the best. Speaking of wishing people the best, man, we're covering this indie stuff as much as we can with the milestone and all this stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah, you know what's coming next, man. I got to ask you about it.
I think right now, and I did a lot of research on this prior to the show today because I wanted to really know what the story was. Because you don't want to do a he said, she said, put it on a podcast, and then somebody call in and give you shit later.
Right.
Because you were wrong.
Nobody would ever message us and tell us we made a mistake on the show.
No.
It doesn't happen.
No, they usually put it in the public comment. But
laying it on thick there, right? We're laying it. Sarcasm's all kinds of thick there.
No, but I mean, wrestling is a business of egos, and sometimes if someone is
before you get too far down the rabbit hole, I don't tell them what we're talking about. Most people are probably we didn't actually say what we're talking about yet.
A podcast that covers Evolve Wrestling leaked a email it got somehow from Gabe Sapolsky that was sent to the talent for Evolve shows prior to one of the shows. It basically was, okay, guys, we're needing to be more professional. I need you to act like you're on a WWE show, so no strikes to the head, no cursing, no racial slurs, none of that. Nothing you find offensive, nothing that wouldn't fly on a WWE show. Basically, make yourselves look more professional, and it gave details on what to do as far as booking at the hotels and where everybody was supposed to be. And honestly, it was a very, to me, if you were going to work with any company, not just a wrestling company, if you're going to go work for a new company, these are the kind of information you would get in an orientation of any kind. You know, they will tell you, this is what you do, this is what's expected of you. If you want to continue to work for us, this is what you need to do. So I wouldn't, like, I didn't look at the email as anything super secret or anything that was like bad for Evolve. The problem was I think confidence was with violation of confidence, the way Gabe saw it, and he was not very happy about his personal Evolve business dealings getting out there.
I agree with you. I didn't think the email was that bad. I honestly thought the email was just more of a, this is what they're looking for. Do these things if you wish to make it there. We do have an agreement with there. And some of it's maybe it just comes off he looks better, like he is prepping people for the WWE with that letter.
There were some comments in there that he said that when William Regal was at the Battle of Los Angeles, he was not impressed by the quality of the lockups and how they did their wrestling. But, you know, you're getting a pre-job evaluation from a guy who basically is the talent and the production and the guy who goes around NXT and does everything Triple H doesn't do.
Well, and I also would tell you that, does that mean that they can't handle their little feelings getting hurt? If somebody told them that
I don't know, man.
I mean, if you go to a tryout and you don't make it, how are you going to take that if somebody tells you that they just didn't really like the style of wrestling? Or how about this? Maybe he's just telling you, you can be the greatest wrestler at Battle of Los Angeles. And guess what? You may not be WWE material.
Well, you know, he actually said that he took some time, and anybody that listened to what he said and asked him questions about how they could improve, he sat down and worked with them and showed them tips and stuff on how. And if anybody knows quality mat wrestling, it's William Regal, Steven Regal, the Lord, or whatever you want to call him at the time. The man's been around wrestling forever and widely known as one of the best technicians of all time. So, yeah, listen to what the guy has to say. It's a good solid feedback, you know. I got bosses that give me feedback all the time, and they're not William Regal, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you on that. And the other part of this whole, there's the Flow Sports issue.
Yes.
Flow Sports is not carrying Evolve, you know, Shine.
WWN type product.
And, the WWN brand.
And see, that's a tough one. So you got a guy who, one, is being sued by a very large provider of internet wrestling already. His product, Evolve, a part of the WWN network, and so he's already getting in trouble because he might lose a big portion of his exposure. And then you look over and you find out this came out. So when Gabe called a podcast and he kind of lashed out at him, he threatened to start firing talent on the Evolve shows until someone revealed who it was. I didn't like that. You know, I didn't like that, the fact that he was going to hold everybody hostage to whoever responded that the email was leaked. Because what are you going to do? You're going to fire the one guy and then everything's going back to normal? No. The cat's out of the bag. The next email he sends will be leaked. That's just the way it works now.
Yep.
He might as well send a copy of every email he sends from now on to every wrestling podcast. Dave Meltzer's mother, Arn Anderson's mother, and everyone else in the country. because it's going to get leaked. Just the way it is. If you never read the Inquirer, emails get leaked. Everything's leaked. For Christ's sake, the Democratic Party in this country had a leaked email issue. A major political party can't control their emails, and it's just going to happen. It's just the way it works these days. People love sensational news. The email, not so sensational, but how the email was handled turned into a big deal in the wrestling world, to the point William Regal actually had to respond to it.
But I'm leaning more, there's more to the story of the whole Flow Sports thing, because there's some accusations of incorrect data on iPay-per-view and video on demand purchases and sales.
Switch up the mixture, or fixed up the fixture.
To WWN's credit, they're obviously airing their own product now on their network versus through Flow Sports on Flow Slam. So many flows, Flow Football, Flow anyway, but Flow Slam. And, they didn't air Evolve 92, but if nothing else, at least WWN did discount all the people that were Flow Sports subscribers, for those shows, because they assume you had it because you wanted to watch those shows.
Yeah.
So I do give them kudos for that.
I think it's cool. I'm not bashing Gabe. I'm just saying, here's a guy who might be in a stressful situation, and then something happens and he responds to it. Maybe he didn't give the best response, but how could you say what you were going to do in the same situation? So let's give the man a break on this, but let's not. I really would hate it if I say, let's just chill and let things work out, and then he turns around and he does something like this again. He starts threatening more people, because that's going to be, that's not good. That's not nice to people.
Yeah. Well, speaking of giving somebody a break, man, let's go ahead and we got to jump into it, because there's a lot of meat to cover. I mean, although me and you, we probably would just hit the big stuff.
I'm hungry too.
There's that. Well, let's start off with injuries. Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
Torn rotator
Jeff
cuff.
Hardy.
That happened actually. A lot of people said it was on Raw the last week, but it actually now is being traced back to even further than that.
You said, let's give it a break. I don't want this break to be turned into a Matt Hardy broken joke, because always got to think about that. With Jeff gone, what's Matt going to do? He's not a tag team wrestler anymore. He doesn't have his brother. He has this superb gimmick.
Break him.
Maybe this will be the impetus.
And then Brother Nero will be the one who turns.
Impotence is what happens when you can't achieve performance.
And,
not Matt Hardy. I'm not saying that. He's just had more children. But, God, I'm bad without a drink sometimes.
Yeah. And so the torn rotator cuff, similar injury to what Eric Rowan and Shelton Benjamin had. So they're talking possibly 7 months is what he's out. So that gives you plenty of time to break Matt Hardy and have Brother Nero return, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's so much to be done. If anybody can handle his tag team partner being out, it's Matt Hardy. I'm glad that Matt's okay. I know Jeff will come back. Jeff is an incredible talent, and he's in probably some of the best shape he's been in since he was a young man.
Oh, so. God, yeah. And so here's the other injury we're going to get to, because I don't know how it's not serious injury per se, but I do want to go on and talk about a little bit about No Mercy, Raw, and SmackDown, and only the way we do it, where we just convoluted all three together and have one big conversation, so we don't cover segment by segment.
Yes.
And I'm going to hit some of the bigger stuff, but I do want to ask you, at No Mercy, you got Enzo becoming the Cruiserweight champion. And in that moment, apparently, and I'm going to ask you your take on it, did they double turn? Was that their goal? Because on Raw, he sure came off like an ass, like a heel.
I'm not sure what the turn was, except for the fact it's going to force more people to turn on the 205 Live. It's it. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah. It's going to make them look silly for a little while. And Enzo, but it's going to put eyes on their product, man.
Did you see there was a Periscope or a tweet, and I apologize that I don't know this off the top of my head, but it was about Enzo winning and about the Cruiserweights. And it was like, don't put the title on Enzo. It'll, blah, blah, blah. It'll won't draw any more eyes. But apparently it was like the 205 segment on Raw had 1.1 million people watch it on social media.
So, well,
that's more people than ever watched 205 Live.
Yes.
So complain all you want. It clearly drew some attention.
What they're doing. The WWE knows what they're doing. They're not writing this product to you internet fan base. They're writing this product to appeal to the people that are going to tune in and the audience. They've already got us. Okay, they've got us. We're going to look at everything they do. It's just the way it is. But there are people out there that don't, and they've got them now. It's smart business. And they know what they're doing. And
then the funny part, of course, of the whole segment is he does the low blow to win the title, which nobody really was a fan of. Kurt Angle brought it up, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, to end Raw, the whole 205 crew roster, call them what you will, every member of the show comes out, and, that's when Neville comes out, and before he can put the beat down on him, Braun Strowman's music hits, and he puts the beat down on him. And apparently everybody else after Raw puts the beat down on him. So it's a lot, Enzo, it just appears as though Enzo has turned heel, or they're going to try to make him turn heel.
Well, they actually, this is one thing where they saw how it was working out. They saw how he was appealing to the crowds, and they took him and said, look, right now he'll do better as a heel. His partner is out for a while, so let's do something with him. And they're making money off the guy. They're doing business again. He's a hated heel. That just proves something's working, man. It proves something's working. They're going to get people to watch their program.
I'm going to backtrack a little bit because we talk about No Mercy. What did you think of the show? I actually thought it was a great show.
It was a pretty good show. It was a pretty good show. You got these matches that were like for the ages with your Cena Roman. I think both of those guys came out looking good. I don't think either guy lost that match. Cena got to go away to do TV and got something he can use for even stronger comeback when he comes back. Because Cena's going to be, he comes back. He's not retiring. That's all. Anybody that thinks John Cena would retire needs to watch a product because he's still money for them. He'll retire when he can't walk or he can't even get in the ring because he's money for them, and they're going to keep giving him enough money to keep people tuning in. So he'll come back, but he got to walk away with that. Maybe I don't have it anymore. So when he comes back, he's going to be Rocky. It's going to be great. And Roman got the rub for beating Cena. It was a great situation for both guys. You couldn't have done a better job for those two.
Well, hopefully he doesn't hang on to the point that he can't walk or anything like that. I'm hoping he realizes, and I think he knows. And some people are asking the question: was that the passing of the torch match? For him, kind of handing the job over to Roman. There was the Raw talk after No Mercy. He kind of insinuates that I can't really do this forever. Maybe it's time to. I'm not going to be around full time anymore, which I was like, well, you're not really full time around anymore anyway, but okay. But so we'll see. We'll see how much, and again, I think it's the big test is can Roman carry the torch? It's not can you hand it to him, it's can he carry it? And if he can't.
Well, they gave him the torch from Taker. Okay? They gave him the torch from Cena. He should have a torch in both hands burning everything up right now. I hope he can do it.
Hopefully. Because that's the new question. Is Roman the guy? Is Roman the new guy? It appears that way, and we're going to follow up with
the guy I think is the new guy was also very prominent on that card.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you.
To Braun Strowman.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to say before we move too far along was, did you love the respect that they gave Cena after that match? Roman left him, gave him his moment, and he took a bow, and the crowd gave him the respect, and even on Raw Talk, you could kind of hear, and then even Roman gave him the respect on Raw the next night, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But let's follow up, because the man you just were talking about, I was going to ask you, of course, Braun Strowman falls at the hands of Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
the only issues I really had with it, and it is what it is, it doesn't matter. I thought, well, maybe should they have taken more than one F5 to beat him?
No, because it sets up Brock back to his monster status, and it puts Strowman in a position where he's on a tear now. He's going to beat his way through everybody. He's pissed off. He can do better. He's going to come back. It's a great position for him. He's going to be the guy. He's hopping on it harder than Roman did. He's got the crowds behind him, even though he's a pseudo heel. People love the guy. The guy has got, he works his ass off. He's out there performing. You can't find many faults in him. He's not a luchador, but then he doesn't act like the luchador. Okay, he knows what he does well, and he does it well. It's somebody who's working a gimmick perfectly. He's gotten to a point where he's on the mic like very well. He's doing better at everything he's doing. Every time you see him, he improves. A loss of the monster Brock doesn't hurt. And think about how they pulled the Goldberg angle off. they made Strowman lose. They made Brock lose to him. And then eventually Brock turned around and came out, and they made Brock look popular and positive, and he beat Goldberg in the end. It was a great angle, and they totally worked an improbable angle, and we all bid on it. And now they're going to do this with Strowman. I think it's wonderful for business.
And he seems to be, the monster among men still. He came out, like I said, on Raw, destroyed everything on Raw. He destroyed Kurt Hawkins. Dean Ambrose came down to face him. He beat him. Then, of course,
Hawkins went through an LED display.
Yeah. Did you see those pictures of his back?
Yeah.
Brutal scratches all over his back. That was just that. Yep. Take one for the team, man. There's nothing like it. But
you're getting paid. And it wasn't that hard a bump. That looked like a bump that was it caused a bruise and a red spot, but it ain't going to break your shoulder.
Well, sure, I can choke slam you through the table. It's not a hard bump to do.
Yeah.
Because you just got to jump and let me throw you through the table, but it's still going to leave a mark. That's kind of what that was. It was his back. He took the bump good, but it's just his back was scratched all beyond belief. And then, of course, we already mentioned the part where he came down and just demolished Enzo as well. So I think Braun's going to come out just fine. Everybody relax. He just lost.
Yeah, it's not a slight to Strowman at all.
Yeah, he just lost a match. That's all it is.
He lost a match to Brock Lesnar.
Right, exactly. And so it's not the end of the world. But let's talk about the match. There's two things that came out of this match. One, the tag team match on on No Mercy, hands down was like hard to argue that that was probably the top match of the night. And that's Ambrose and Rollins taking on Cesaro.
Yeah. While I did not think this Ambrose and Rollins team was going to be anything to be interested in, they're making a decent tag team out of these guys. They're making something. They're doing good business.
I know everybody loves them. I know everybody loves them as a singles, talent.
Uh-huh.
Those two, to me, always the sum of the parts are bigger than the two individuals. I always like them better as a team than a singles. And I don't know why. I just always have.
It's working for them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, and unfortunately, with Jeff Hardy being out, I think they kind of need they still need that babyface team there.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably locked longer than they maybe originally thought they were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you take them out of the picture, out of the tag team scene, where's your Raw babyface tag team?
Yeah, because they turned Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yep.
You sent the New Day to the other program.
And the Hardys are done. Yep, because for 7 months or so, give or take.
So you got to come up with something,
Well, this was all before, but that's what I'm saying. I think even if they thought this was going to be a short-term thing, I think it's just become a long-term thing, in my opinion. That
it's worked out good. I think it's worked out good, and like I said, I never saw it coming. I knew I was going to hate this, but not so much.
Yeah, the other cool thing to come out of this match, it's cool for us because it was a cool visual, was not so cool for Cesaro. He had his two front teeth knocked about 4 millimeters up into his gums.
Yeah, that happened to my daughter when she was like, I think 2, and it was nasty. Cesaro took that bump good. I mean, he got back up and finished up on the match.
He worked like another 10 minutes.
Yeah, with your teeth shoved, not just knocked out, shoved up into your gum.
Yeah, he was bleeding. It was pretty gnarly looking. And
they had to stitch him before they could do the surgery to fix it.
Right. And they said that he got a standing ovation when he walked through the curtain. Everybody kind of gave him a standing O, and much love and much respect for a guy that can just. Oh God, yeah. Everything. Don't take on a guy. You know what? You ever see him? Don't try to test him anywhere because any guy that'll do that. I mean, he's crazy.
I'm waiting every time he gets a little bit more exposure and they get him just about right. God, I wish they could show that guy off for what he can do. He's strong. He's fast. He's talented. He's tough. He can fight with anybody. He could be a serious, believable heavyweight champion. And I wish they could find out what's going to work to get him there. I think he's got unlimited potential and untapped potential.
Right. Now I will ask you this though. We want to talk about there was the Ambrose Rollins team. There was all these rumors flying around going into Raw that the Shield was coming back together, the band was getting put back together, all 3 of them, and it never happened. Now, you know my take. I told you off air. I still think we're getting it because of what we got on Raw with the Miz Taraj beating down Roman. I still think maybe that's kind of got to be done, don't you think?
It's going to happen. They're going to set it up. They're going to tease us as much as possible before it happens. They're going to jerk us around. They're going to make us think it's going to happen and then not do it. It's perfect booking for this. I can't say, and if you keep getting people to bite something and you don't give it to them, you don't give it, and then you pay it off, it's money. I can't wait.
I think like I said, God forbid you slow build something and the crowd actually pops for it when they get it, and it's a big one because they've been waiting on it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, month, whatever.
3 years, 4 years,
And that's, like I said, I still think we're going to get it with the Miz Taraj angle with Roman. But now here's the question. Do they sidebar off and do we look at maybe Axel and Dallas challenging for the tag titles?
Axel and Dallas in the tag team where they've got a manager who used to be a wrestler, who's still a wrestler, and a tag team of 2 guys who were subpar talents all of a sudden are becoming great because their mentorship from this amazing talent. These are all new ideas.
Yeah.
They'd be solid now. Because you can make those 2 believable because of their association with The Miz. I like it.
Yeah, give it a run.
I'd like to see it happen.
I don't know how we missed this, by the way. It's on my notes and I can't. It goes to show you how long our day was today, right? John Cena is attached to a new movie because we were talking about going away and coming back. I wanted to back up to that.
The master of it. How can I miss you when you won't say goodbye? And that man makes people miss him.
Yep. And he, of course, is off right now doing the Bumblebee movie. He's the lead star in that one.
He's a freaking Transformer.
He's not a Transformer. He's in the Transformer movie.
He's a Transformer.
John Cena's not gonna walk up and.
Well, now I'm disappointed. He's not. He doesn't.
He's not Bumblebee. He's not Bumblebee. He is in the Bumblebee movie.
Well, that sucks. I wanted to see him as a robot. It's like that damn show, Mr. Robot. There's not a fucking robot on that show.
You were disappointed that it wasn't. So you thought John Cena was going to be Bumblebee.
I thought John Cena was going to be a robot.
Well, some people would argue that he is, but not us. But some people would.
You know what I do for this company? I make money. Do. Yeah, that's what he does. Cena makes money. He's a money-making robot, but I wanted him to be a Transformer.
He's not a Transformer, Myron. So let's.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know you wanted him to be, but he is not a Transformer.
Can he be in G.I. Joe? Can he be in G.I. Joe, man? Seriously.
He was close enough. They had Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum and John Cena are the same guy. I'm convinced. maybe. Let's go back also real quick while you're hung up on John Cena not being a Transformer anymore.
More than meets
let's
the
discuss
eye.
No
Robots
Mercy.
in disguise. Sorry.
The women. The 5-way. Because God knows we can't. The only reason I mention it is because we had a 5-way for the title. Alexa Bliss holds the title.
This is like 80s porn. Let's put all the women in one movie together and hope somebody watches it.
Well, anyway.
Please stop. Let these people use their talent.
We talked about it last week. Can we not get a one-on-one women's match?
Nope.
Now, we're getting one on the other brand, which we'll get to in a little bit, which is, thank God, it's finally happening. But my argument is we still ain't seen it yet because of something else. The Carmella's still out there. But apparently, Alexa Bliss gets the win on No Mercy, obviously, heads over to Raw. She's kind of saying, I've done it all. Who else are they going to bring on? Mickie James comes out and says, yes. I wasn't in that match, and then cuts a pretty good promo, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mickie is, we know your fascination with Mickie. I got to give you that. I get more fascinated every time I see her working. I can't lie. Because not only is she beautiful, and she's got that crazy look, but she's so solid. She is a solid performer. And that's just that talent, that skill, that level of experience. She's great, and I don't know why they haven't had her on lately, but we're about to find out.
Yeah.
We're about to find out.
Although her comment about the training bra I thought was a little unnecessary because it's inaccurate.
Well, I think I don't know a lot about bras, but I hope whatever they got is good support.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Before we move on to SmackDown, we completely forgot to mention the Bullet Club.
No. What's the Bullet? Oh, yes.
The Bullet Club, it does an invasion, an old WCW, the DX invasion.
I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, it was funny.
Cody Rhodes right out there in front, man, too. That's what I eat up. He's in charge. He's in front of a company like his dad was, man. He's the face.
He with that multi-year deal, he's the face of Ring of Honor at this point.
He's the most recognizable Rhodes kid in the business.
Well, that's true. That's actually a fact right now. No offense to Goldust, but that is actually a fact. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. They had them kind of come up in the limo, and then they jumped out. They were standing on things and hollering out things and getting the crowd to do the two. I thought that crowd probably was a plant. The whole crowd, to be honest with you, with the whole too sweet, woo woo, too sweet, woo woo. I'm like, okay, that's probably a whole crowd's a plant, but whatever. But either way, well done. Kudos to Ring of Honor for pulling it off. The Bullet Club, whoever the hell was in charge of making that happen, which would shock me to say that if it wasn't the Bullet Club on their own doing it. So, surprise, surprise, surprise. They come up with a novel idea that was kind of cool. So,
and it worked.
It did work.
You gotta love it.
So before we start running out of time, let's go ahead and move on. Is there anything else on Raw that you wanted that was on your notes or anything that I missed?
Not on Raw, and I got, except for, no, that's not on Raw.
Let's move over.
I got a good note on SmackDown.
Well, we're going to move over to SmackDown. That's where we're heading. I wanted to make sure we covered everything on Raw before we got there. Hit me with what you had on SmackDown, and then I'll come up with next.
Is Bobby Roode a face or a heel?
Babyface. Simple answer.
He was so appealing as a babyface in that promo he cut. It was just good business, man. I really liked the way he cut that promo, and they had him looking perfect. Yeah, it was good. It was awesome. I really like what they're doing with him. I need a new face I can warm up to sometimes, and that's what they gave me. So I'm happy with him.
All right. Well, I agree with you. I do like Bobby Roode, of course.
No.
Now, I do like also, I did get a kick. I'm not going to lie. I chuckled at the Undertaker entrance by Dolph Ziggler. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought it was funny because I heard the pop, and I was like, bah, 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 bah. And, as soon as it happened, that popped into my head. Let's go, your other notes that you had something about, Ellsworth?
Ellsworth on a chain.
Ellsworth is off the chain, right?
On a chain, off a chain, Ellsworth, you got to give him credit. He ain't taking bumps. He's riding the bus. He's eating the steak sandwiches. He's up there with the most beautiful women in sports entertainment. What's not to love about his job?
Kudos to, that's what we always say. Kudos to Ellsworth, man. He figured out how to make it work.
Yep.
And he's got a good gig going, and God bless him. That's all I'm going to say. But I'll tell you who God bless, and that's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn takes an ass whooping from Kevin Owens better than anybody, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love watching that stuff. The matches are solid. Everything's great. Kevin is healing perfect. Sammy is baby facing perfect. I love it. Yeah, we've seen it 1,000 times, but it's the best thing to do in business. He's got a chair around his neck, and he gets pushed into Shane, who knocks the chair harder into him. It was awesome. I really, really liked it. I really, really liked it. It sold me. I bought the angle. I'm getting more on board for the pay-per-view. It was solid.
Yeah, we're going into Hell in a Cell. I mean, you got me hooked.
You got to get heat for Hell in a Cell.
How about crazily? That sounds like that's going to be the main event. Not your world title match. Nakamura and Jinder.
About the world title match. I'm sorry.
That's the crazy part. And it's funny, the other part of that whole, when you said that nobody cares, because we've got that match, which we don't. Rusev and Orton, I don't care.
I used to think so much of Rusev, and now he's kind of like,
it's not. My knock's not on Rusev. I don't care about the story. I just don't care. No, I just don't care about the story. I like both competitors. I just don't like the storyline. So whatever. New Day and the Usos has done pretty well. They've built that up pretty good.
Why are they still using it?
Well, because now they're going to face off in the Hell in a Cell at the pay-per-view to blow this feud off for the tag team titles. My question is, does the third member of the New Day get to be in? Does he have to be out?
I'm not really excited for War Games Live. Okay, I don't see a point in having a tag team match in there, but that's just me.
That's all we got this week as far as that goes. Oh, by the way, there was the subtle. It does look like Zack Ryder's going to turn on Mojo or vice versa. We got that little vibe.
Good for business.
I give them something to do, to be honest with you. How about that? Yeah. I mean, because they're floundering. They were floundering as a tag team. So let it go. Let's let it move on and progress.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
You probably are about to tell I'm about to go through rapid fire mode because I didn't really care a whole lot about anything else on SmackDown a whole lot. Fashion Files looks like it's coming back next week.
Everybody loves that.
Amen, because there's a segment that everybody's going to get a good laugh out of at least. AJ and Baron look like they're going to continue with everything that happened. They had a match. He fought Ty Dillinger. Baron Corbin did. Got a count out.
It's good to see Ty. It's never good to see a wrestler sitting at the commentary table when it's ringside like that. Because they're always going to get involved.
Yep.
I know that Corbin's on the shit list right now, but I just don't know why they saddled him with. AJ got saddled with this long. I'd rather see Corbin versus anybody else. AJ's their top talent. I know technically he doesn't have the highest belt. He's not a title contender, or he's not the guy with the Universal WWE title, or whatever the hell belt they got on this show is. But I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't get it. I don't understand why I think he should be wrestling somebody down the card, not AJ. AJ's way above him. He was getting his push, yes. And it was working for him, yes. But it's cold now. Don't put him with AJ. I want to see AJ. I want to see AJ up there on the top. We actually met the most famous wrestler from Gainesville, Georgia today, and it wasn't AJ Styles. It was Andrew Duckworth. And he was a blast to talk to today.
And that was funny. He's the most famous wrestler from Gainesville, the greatest wrestler from Gainesville, Georgia. Pretty funny.
That man got an angle. That man's got an angle.
And pretty funny. I'm not going to lie to you. Pretty solid. But I didn't have anything else from SmackDown. I mean, it was honestly, to me, it was a rather uneventful SmackDown.
Yeah.
And that just that's happened. And that's concerning me that that's starting to happen more and more. It's like they're putting a lot of the effort into Raw again, and then they're not, putting the efforts into SmackDown. So that concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But
I don't like that.
They're getting very top heavy on SmackDown. Let's put it that way. So that's what concerns me, I guess. So
fair enough.
You got anything else, man? I mean, it was
no. Transformers. No.
He's not a fucking Transformer, Myron.
Nah. Robots in disguise. I can't see me. My robot time is now. You can't see me. My robot time is now.
He's not a fucking Transformer, Myron.
Nah.
He's going to be a man.
Robots in disguise.
He's just a man.
He's not a man. He's John Cena. He should be a Transformer.
Okay.
No.
We'll put that request in. We'll put that request in, and we'll see how that works out. But well, we've already got to go over. We want to plug it here as we go out too. By the way, because don't forget, if you've listened to this right after, you're going to be coming right up on it. Starting 9:00 Wednesday night, the Milestone 7 Rocky Mountain Pro, their big annual event is on the Fight app.
Yep.
I thought the thing was going to be was going to cost me something, but it's free. The app is free. The event is free. Nothing to stop you from checking it out. I was in the building live when this event went down. Loved this event. Absolutely off the charts good.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, Mercury, Matt Yaden, and the crew out at Rocky Mountain Pro put on a great event. I can't say enough good things about it. Check it out. It's definitely worthwhile. And you do that, it's just a Fight app, man. It's, we are an affiliate with the Fight app, and we try to let everybody know how great they are. There's tons of action on there. Booker T's Booker T's promotions now been picked up by them. Reality of Wrestling. It's the WWE network for independent wrestling.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, Rockstar Pro, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I mean, there's tons and tons of product. We could go on all day, and of course, the Ring of Honor's on there. Ring of Honor pay-per-views are on there. Impact pay-per-views, just tons of stuff on there. Check it out. Make sure you use our link so they know that we're doing our part to, help get the word out for them. And that's all. I mean, it's like a free app. We're not even asking you to buy anything. Just use the free app. But use our link.
And then they send the money to us to further more of these wild and crazy John Cena theories. So.
App. And then, of course, we always tell you that the same kind of principle works. Check us out on our webpage at tappedOutWrestlingPodcast.com. The reason why we want you to check out our Amazon affiliate, the link there, we want you to click on that, replace your Amazon link with ours. Any purchase you make from that point forward through our link, Amazon just kicks us a little referral fee, just kind of help out, just to help support the cause here for the free shows that we're kicking out. It'll help cover these expenses that we have, because believe it or not, we do have expenses, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the big ones. Of course, check us out at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. The shirts are up. Just so everybody knows, the new shirt design has been submitted. I'm waiting on once it goes through, it'll be up for sale as well. But yes. ProWrestlingTees.com. Check them out. They're always running specials and stuff, so you check those kind of things out.
I hear Lois.
Lois is in the house.
Yeah, Lois is trying to find out what I'm doing in the basement.
She thinks you're hiding from her, but let her know that basically we're getting out of here. But check us out on social media, all the places you need to find us. Tapped Out Pod, by the way. If you remember that, Tapped Out Pod, that is our Twitter, it's our Instagram, Snapchat, all the above. You can also find us at Facebook, Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. And then last but not least, check us out at tappedOutWrestlingPodcast.com for all the above information you need to find. Questions, comments, and of course, don't forget tappedoutpod at gmail.com. That's where you can send the emails for any questions, comments, suggestions, any of the above. And that's it, buddy. We've knocked this out. It was like, we knew it wasn't a big, huge week, which was shocking considering we had a pay-per-view that we didn't think that there was going to be a ton to go over.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Okay, guys.
Well, man, what time is it, buddy?
It's time to tap out.